I feel like I made a very poor choice when it comes to lip color. When I was upstairs in my bathroom, I was like, oh, this looks good. But now that I'm down here and I'm looking like in my monitor, my teeth look straight up gray. I can't figure out if it's just because A, my teeth are gray, or B, it's a mixture of the lip color as well as the lighting. If you guys can't tell, it definitely is a lot darker today. I apologize. Saturday, my new bulbs are coming in. I like suck when it comes to studio lighting. Like, it is just something that I cannot figure out yet. I've watched so many videos and I can like never get it right. I don't know if I just need to invest in better equipment, but I'm always like moving my soft boxes because I can't stand just having them in the middle of the room at all times. I broke one and then the other one, the light bulb like fell apart and shattered. So yeah, story of my life. Today's video is kind of like an overall brand review of the brand J.Cat Beauty. You can find the brand online on their own site. I will have all of the information and prices listed down below, as well as the products as usual. You can also find them at Ulta.com, Forever 21. I feel like there was one other place and I can't think of it right now, but those are the main areas. I typically buy a lot of my products from Ulta just because with using the, what is it? I think it's $3.50 off of $15 coupon now, just because it is considered kind of a drugstore brand. It used to be $3 off of 10 at Ulta. I don't know why they're playing us, but anyways, I have a pretty good assortment of products here. I don't have everything. I was wrestling through my drawers and I can't find some of the lip products, which is kind of annoying, but we're just gonna review what I do have. First and foremost, this is a product that is on my vanity at all times. I know Vera Mona makes one at Sephora. I believe that one is $18 though. It's called the Color Switch. This is the exact same product. This is the dry makeup brush cleaner. So as you can see, it just comes in this cute little circular tin. So inside you kind of have this rough, porous little sponge. Do not mind my nails. I've been doing so much like crafting things around the house. There was so much like acrylic paint, like actual paint on my nails that I felt like I just needed to give them a breather. So now they're just looking like extra rough and janky, but back to the products. So inside you have this little sponge. So let's say you're in the middle of an eyeshadow look and you have like a favorite eye brush. Let's say it's like the MAC 217. You're dipping into the next color and you really want to use that brush again, but it's like covered in black eyeshadow. You just grab the brush and you kind of do circular motions right around the sponge, and it just kind of like wipes off any of the excess powder that's on the brush so that it's clean all over again. Don't use this to just clean all of your brushes. You still need to be deep cleaning your brushes because that's nasty. Never wash your brushes. This is just more of a quick like spot clean in between session whenever you're wanting to switch between colors. It's really nice and convenient. Now, if you don't even have like an additional $5 or $6 to spend, but you like the concept of this product, you can definitely just go to the Dollar Tree. This material is basically the exact same thing that is used to make those little hair donuts. So you could just buy a hair donut and be swirling your brush around in there. You're gonna get the same thing, but overall for this like exact type of product, I want to say this is the cheapest on the market. Now, another product that has made a staple into my makeup routine is the All About That Base eyeshadow primer. There are 3 different options. You have the nude shadow primer, glitter shadow primer, and shimmer shadow primer. I will say out of the 3, I'm not too crazy about the glitter one. I feel like it doesn't have that great of a tackiness to be used as a glitter shadow primer. I definitely prefer the one from Violet Voss or Too Faced a lot more. Obviously those are a bit more expensive, but I feel like when using this one, you definitely have to work quicker because the tacky base tends to dry down pretty quickly. However, the nude shadow primer, I absolutely love. I'm not sure if they make one in a deeper skin tone or not. I would hope so, just because this one is pretty light. It has a very kind of like yellow beigey undertone to it, but this works great almost as like a concealer under your brows as well. Like, so if you have any brow stubble or anything that you're wanting to conceal or just really want to brighten up on your eyelid and your brow bone, I love this. I'll apply this from my lid all the way up to my brow bone before even applying my brows, which that sounds so weird, applying your brows, but you know, before filling my eyebrows in, and I just feel like it gives me a really nice bright base to work with. And if you're lazy like me and you hate like plucking any little stubbles every day, it does a pretty good job of concealing that. But as you can see, it does blend in eventually. It's not going to stay like super opaque and nude, but it does give a nice brightening and concealing effect, all the while holding my shadows in place. So I love that. The shimmer one is nice as well. It's not quite as shimmery as, let's say, what is that one called? Is it Sin or Eden from Urban Decay? There is a slight kind of golden shimmer to it, but overall I definitely prefer the nude one. I would say you could definitely pass on the glitter. You wouldn't really be missing out on anything too special. Okay, some of my absolute standout favorite products products from J.Cat Beauty are their highlighters. They are beautiful, especially for the price point. Right now, I am wearing the one in Crystal Sand, so that's what I have on my cheeks. I got some texture going on my cheeks right now though, so don't be over there judging me. These are the You Glow Girl highlighters. I love the design that's on them, so we're gonna do some quick swatcheronis of these. My monitor is like wobbling. If that breaks, I might cry. As you can see, you get quite a bit of product. This one definitely looks like a boob though, does it not? Like a ridgy areola and then a straight up nipple, like meh, meh. But this is the one that I'm wearing. It is called Crystal Sand. The formula is super, super nice. They definitely are silky. And then we have the shade Moonlight. I really like the pattern of this one. It's like a cute little flower. This one is definitely more of a golden highlighter. This is probably my least favorite out of the three, which I'm not gonna lie, I thought this one was going to be my favorite because I typically like lean towards the golds, but this one you really kind of have to build up. You don't have the same type of pigmentation as you did with Crystal Sand. And then finally we have the shade Bella Rose. This one has more of like a pinky opalescent look to it, but Crystal Sand is hands down my favorite, especially if you prefer more of like a very light gold champagne type of highlighter. You're gonna love that one. This is another product that I've been loving from J.Cat Beauty. This is the H2O Fresh Dewy Base Primer. It's hydrating and oil-free. First of all, the scent of this I love. It definitely does smell like Korean skincare. This product is made in Korea. It just has that really clean, fresh scent. I love it. It smells so good. So just to give you guys an idea of what the actual product looks like, when it comes out, it kind of looks like something that would be a bit more on like the silicone side, but as you blend it out, it just gives your skin this really wet look, but it does set nicely into the skin. The only thing is, it seems like I've gone through this so quickly and I really only use about like double the pea size amount that I just showed you, so that's kind of my only gripe. Also, I forgot to mention J.Cat Beauty is a cruelty-free brand, just in case you were wondering. Okay, now, not to be a negative Nancy, but this is obviously going to be an honest review, so sometimes within lines there's just products that suck, unfortunately, and these two were just not good. I felt like I definitely gave them a fair shot. I applied them 2 to 3 days like in a row, put them away for a week, and I was like, let me try them one more time before I'm like epic fail. They just were not good. I did check out the Ulta site to see some of the other palettes, and it seems like the one called, I believe, Sunset Boulevard, that one seemed to have way more positive reviews. I don't know if the formulation is different in that palette, but these just did not work out for me. So first up, we have the Downtown LA 24 eyeshadow palette. Now the price point for a 24 eyeshadow palette wasn't bad, especially for the pan size that you got, but honestly, price point doesn't matter when the product just isn't good. Like, this is a palette that I like 12 out of 10 do not recommend. Now, the mattes aren't awful by any means. You can get them to work. They do get kind of muddy and patchy, but the metallics suck. Like, there's no other nice way to say it. I've tried them wet, I've tried them dry. They are the like crumbliest, patchiest metallics ever, which is sad because in the pan, they look so, so pretty, but they're just like dry and crumbly. When you swatch it on your finger, it doesn't look bad. Even when I rub it out on my hand, it doesn't look awful, but I promise you, on my eyes, I tried with so many different brushes. I tried with my fingers, I tried with a primer, without a primer. My phone needs to shut up. It just was not good. It's like you would get flakes of shimmer that would just like chunk off and your eyes would do that really weird like scrotum wrinkly effect. It just wasn't good. Then we have the Beverly Hills 90210. This one I was so pumped about because I was like, oh, this shade here looks like it could be like my favorite color. The Beauty Desert Dust palette, but no, it is like so, do you see what I mean? Is that gonna focus? Hold on, let me get my big old head out of here. We're going old school. Do you see the chunks in here? Like, the base color doesn't look like it would be bad, but like, this is what I mean. The lighting, come on camera. It is just chunky. It's not pretty. I feel like the swatches on camera are being deceiving because I promise I wanted to love this because it would be great to be able to share like a really affordable palette with you guys. This one really made me sad though because the color scheme is so, so pretty, but it just didn't work out. I'm not gonna lie, I am still curious about that Sunset palette just because that one seemed to have way more like positive reviews, but those two, I tried them multiple times. I just could not get them to work. I don't really think I'm doing anything wrong because like I said, I tried so many different methods and it just was a no-go. This is the Brow List, right? Like stylist, Brow List, Brow List. Comes with 2 shades with angled and spoolie brush. So I've used both of the shades. I kind of have to mix them to get my perfect shade. Whenever I first saw it, I thought it was gonna be more like the NYX, what was that product called? It came in a squeezy tube as well. That one was almost like a liquefied pomade in a tube. This one is definitely a thinner product than the NYX one. The tubes are definitely bigger as well. So in here there's the brown and the dark brown. The brown is way too warm and then the dark brown's way too dark, so I kind of just mix them. It is what I have on my brows right now. What I like about these is that it's not a super harsh product. When I squeezed it out, I was kind of like, oh boy, that looks intense. But with the brush that it comes with, which honestly isn't bad at all, it's not quite as stiff as the Anastasia brow brush, but it is still really good. Here, let me squeeze some out so you guys can see what I mean. It's kind of in between like a liquid and a gel. It's not quite as thick as that NYX product. I cannot think of the name of that one. I hate that. But you guys know what I'm talking about, right? It came like in a squeeze tube like this. But what I like about this is that unlike the NYX one kind of went on super like opaque right away. So it's like if you put some on there, like it was on there for good, because once this sets, it definitely stays in place. But it's a product that kind of like gives you the chance to build it out. So I'll apply the tiniest bit on the brush. I'll kind of stamp some excess off first, and I'll just kind of go in and create nice light feather motions. And do you see what I mean about the color? Now, obviously if I went in with a super heavy hand, then it would be way more opaque. The user-friendly product, I think it's very forgiving and it does last on the brows all day. So overall, I do like it. Do I prefer it over like my Makeup Revolution brow pomade? Probably not, just because this one does take a little bit more time, since you have to take the time to go in and kind of mix and match the colors to get your correct brow shade, but it does last all day, which is really nice. So overall, I do like this product. Is it my absolute favorite brow product? No, but it's good. Moving on, we have the Luxe Pro Powder. I have one in Pearl Luminizer and then another in Porcelain. I did get one in Banana as well because I did receive these as PR. I didn't even open it because it looked like way too dark of a yellow. But immediately when I saw this, or even when you see it, what do you think of? Ben Nye. I mean, like the font, the color layout, everything is identical. The Porcelain was definitely the one that I was the most interested in trying. It does come with a little, let me wipe this off, shaker little guy on the top so you can just dump some off. I didn't have patience to get that sticker off that day, so I just popped the lid off. But I want to give you guys a quick side-by-side of, oh, let me dip my finger in here. This is going to be so messy. So we're gonna put the Cameo powder first, and then next to it, let's do Porcelain. Okay, so on the bottom is the Ben Nye Cameo powder. Let me blend that little patch up. And then on the top is the Porcelain. The color is pretty much the same, but I will say, even to the touch, they both feel almost identical when it comes to like the silkiness of the powder. But somehow the Ben Nye powder does, I feel like, blend in better to my skin. Like whenever I bake with these, it seems like the J.Cat one does leave more of a white cast behind. So you just have to go in with a lighter hand, but they perform pretty darn similar. I'll have to go in and see what the exact price difference is of the two. And then we have the Pearl Luminizer. This one is super pretty, but at first when I got this, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be using that as a highlighter a ton. It's nice, but for being like a super fine powder, if it was a different color, I think I would get more use out of it because it's definitely more of like a white, icy, frosty color. If this was a shade of Crystal Sand, I would be using it every single day. But since this one is like more icy, it's just not quite as flattering. This would be pretty though, like dusted onto the tops of your shoulders, on your décolleté, because just like the other two powders, it is super, super fine. So overall, it is a good product. I just kind of wish it was a different color. I should probably put this cap on first. Otherwise, we're gonna have powder everywhere. Okay, the next product I have here are the Lip TONIX Extreme Shimmer Toppers. I have 6 of them. The packaging is definitely bulky, but something about their chubby little like rounded ends, I don't know what it is. It is so cute. The shimmer of these are beautiful. Like you get a really nice shimmery lip without feeling like the grit of the shimmer on here. This was another product, the second that I opened it, I was like, why does this look like something else I already own? I was going through my lip glosses and then here it is. This is the Becca Liquid Crystal Lip Topper Glow Gloss. I liked these, but I will say J.Cat's version is nicer because in not all, but in some of the shades of the Becca one, you do feel the actual like grit of the little shimmers in here. These go on a lot smoother, and they have the right amount of tackiness in them to where they last on your lips to where you're not having to constantly reapply. Now, the only thing is with the J.Cat Beauty ones, I don't think they have actual names, and I hate that. Like, I hate when products just have numbers. I don't know if the name was like on the wrapper that I peeled off, but all I see on here are, I'm dropping stuff, are numbers. So I'm guessing this is LTX 101, but this one was the most similar to, what is this? Rose quartz and seashell. So I'm gonna swatch these side by side as well. You just get a super long doe foot applicator. Here is the J.Cat Beauty, and then here is the Becca. The Becca one definitely has a little bit more of a pinkiness to it, but the overall effect is pretty darn similar. So that LX or LTX 101 is the main one that I always keep in my purse. So if you're like me, you've been into glossy lips and you really like the look of shimmer without being like metallic or frosty, those are definitely worth checking out. I do have another lip product here. These are the Holy Addiction Pro Define lip liners made with Californian cedar wood. These honestly remind me a lot of the NYX lip liners, which are some of my absolute favorites just because the price point is great, the formula is good, it's just overall a good product. Next up, we have the Prismetal Chrome Eye Mousse, and I'm just now realizing my favorite shade I don't even have in here right now, but if you guys watch my August favorites, right? August favorites, I swatched it in there. If you're into like really rich coppery type of metal shades, you need to check it out because that one's so good. I want to say that one was called Fire something. I'll have to dig through it, but I'm like trying to rush before I go get Landon from school. These honestly remind me a lot of the ColourPop Super Shock Shadows. The formula isn't quite as consistent as the ColourPop ones. I did have several that I was kind of like, oh, I'm not feeling these, but for the most part, they're really good. This one here is called Forest Night. So even the packaging, it's just a twist off little lid. Now to the touch, it definitely is more wet and kind of like sticky than ColourPop. ColourPop is definitely more of like a jello-y, bouncy type of like cream to powder feel. This does set, it just doesn't go on quite as like, I don't want to say dry in a bad way, but you know when you apply ColourPop, it almost seems to go down to a powder instantly. This one, you don't want to open your eyes right away, otherwise you will have a little bit of creasing just because it does have more of a wet texture than ColourPop. Then we have the shade Champagne Whiz. This one is really pretty, especially if you are into like rose golds. This one kind of reminds me of ColourPop Summer Lovin'. That one is so pretty. I know I just compared these to ColourPop, but once I got these like the next day in the mail, I got the ColourPop Supernova shadows and I was like, uh-oh, we got kind of another like comparison battle here. These are the holographic 3D eye toppers. Now, this was another product where I felt like it wasn't fully consistent throughout the line. Some of them like applied beautiful opaque, others were kind of more patchy and I really had to layer, but then once you started layering, then it got kind of like that, once again, scrotum-y, wrinkly, just creasy look. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some quick swatches of these. If you guys are curious, like size comparison wise, let's compare. Let's grab this shade here. So here is a Stila Magnificent Metals, which is hands down one of like my favorite eye products of all times. Here's the J.Cat Beauty 3D Topper, and then here is the ColourPop Supernova Shadow. Okay, so from top to bottom, we have J.Cat Beauty, ColourPop, and then Stila. Now, I'm not saying that the J.Cat Beauty one is bad by any means. I could have just gotten kind of like a faulty product. Maybe all the shades are perfectly consistent, and I just got one that was a little bit weird because I will say when I opened this one here in Viridian, there was this really weird kind of separation on the top. That could have just been due to the heat during shipping, I'm not quite sure. But then this one here in Lemonade, this applied perfectly. In fact, this is what I have kind of as my base on the inner corner of my eyes. I did go in and add additional glitter from the Huda Beauty palettes, but this one performed great. So I could have just gotten a faulty product. I'm not quite sure. I still think it would be worth trying out because for the price point, it isn't bad. The only thing is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadows are in the exact same price range. But if they're going to be in the same price like group or family, I would probably go with the ColourPop ones more just because these seem to be a bit more consistent, at least in the batch that I got. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope it helped you guys out. I would definitely recommend checking out J.Cat Beauty because for the price range, they do have some killer products within their line. That is it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.